Aron Eisenberg is here, and if you saw Deep Space Nine, you know this is one of the many recurring characters that was just so fantastic that you thought he was part of the main crew, part of the main cast at least, part of the main crew of Deep Space Nine, but part of the cast of the show. And I mean, he's outstanding. He's so entertaining. I'm so happy that he and Sirach are doing the Seventh Rule podcast here on Odyssey. And let's stop wasting time. Let's just jump right into it. Would you be interested, just jumping back on Discovery for a second there, they have brought back different races, different alien races and such, including the Tellarites. I think was a more recent addition, especially in the shorts. What do you think about them ever thinking about bringing back the Ferengi?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it'll happen. I mean, it could happen in Discovery, except it would mess up the canon, right? Because TNG discovered Ferengi. Correct?
Yeah, you're right.
I'm correct. Yeah, so I don't think it would really work in that aspect unless they discovered Ferengi and then somehow all the information was wiped from the computer. I don't know. Unless you can always look at it as different timelines too. So it just depends. I doubt it. I really do. I don't think they want to go back to that kind of stuff. Maybe they will with Picard's show. I think with Patrick Stewart's show coming, I think that's more feasible. But I think they probably look at Ferengi a little bit too comedic for today's shows. And I think if you did see a Ferengi again in one of the shows, there would probably be some updates to the makeup, just to make it. Not that the makeup was awesome, but it's kind of like a little bit how they kind of changed Klingons a little bit. Well, it was a lot, but there's something different in how the aliens are presented a bit, I think, in Discovery and the shows today than they were back then. And maybe they're augmented a bit with special effects or, in post. I doubt that because that would be a lot of rotoscoping. But I think there is a difference to the feel of the old shows to the newer shows. There's a difference in that.
Yeah.
And I would be curious to see if the Ferengi did come back, what that difference is. But I don't think they would want to bring them back for comedy. And so it would be very important to not do that.
Yeah, and I hope that they wouldn't do that because, I mean, obviously, the original rollout of the Ferengi in Next Generation was just terrible. I mean, they were meant to be the new villains, and it didn't really work out too well. And then, the race kind of got shelved until Deep Space Nine came around. And then Deep Space Nine, I felt, even though, there was definitely some comedic aspects to it, but there was a lot of, growth, a lot of the way that the race evolved. And I thought it was fascinating because I went where I was irritated about the fact that Ferengis were going to be involved in Deep Space Nine to oh my God, you could never do this show without them. And it became such a rich, interesting, everything about them. And we could poke fun at it a little bit, but at the same time, there were some very serious issues that were talked about, very Star Trek-like issues that were talked about, from the perspective of the Ferengi that I just thought, was absolutely fascinating. And I'm so glad that they were part of that. And I hope that if any reemergence of the Ferengi, I think, needs to be dealt with, properly, done in a great way, not just for comedy, not just, here's a little throwaway, but, I think something very respectful to that.
Well, you never know. I haven't had a phone call, so don't call me, but...
Do you like what you hear? Well, there's a lot more. You can listen to this complete episode and the rest of the Alpha Waves radio archive by subscribing to us at patreon.com/alphawavesradio. That's patreon.com/alphawavesradio. And hear brand new episodes of Alpha Waves Radio with me, Michael Hinman, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on Odyssey, the free streaming service you can find at ODYSY1.com.